Hi friends, today I see this news on CNN, uh, Taylor Swift's lucky number 13 factored into her recent engagement. She engaged to this Kansas City Chiefs football player on the 13th. So she's saying in here, everything in her life, like most of the time, she was 13 is wherever the lucky points are according to this. Like even the engagement is on the 13th, whenever she won a award or something, and then she was in a 13th seat or 13th row or anything, something to do with 13, right? So I said, let me have a look at her chart, just for education purposes, right? So what's her life like, whether we can explain her life based on the chart, because at the end of the day, chart is what shows the karma that brought to this life. What's the karma is what you sow, what you reap. So she must have carried a lot of karma because she's a very rich singer, right? Based on this, what I did was I did her chart. I know other people are saying her chart is Sagittarius, but as far as I can see, that doesn't match at all. It only matches the Venus sign of Libra, and her most effective point also 30. That is amazing, right? So why would her think, she was born on 13th, December 13th, 1989, and then even her most effective point, ascendant degree, is 30. And then I wanted to see how her life shows up in here. If we look at this, her sign is Libra, clearly, because that's how she's a singer, entertainer, because Libra belongs to Venus. Venus is all happy things in life, particularly music, entertainment, those stuff are clearly coming from Venus. So I wanted to see, and then she is extremely lucky, right? So this chart should show all of that. What I can show with this is, if we look at this chart, you need to know a little bit about basics of this to understand this. If we look at it, okay, let me go by this, where her luck comes from, right? Because this is a huge good karma that she brought to this life. This is the 9th house of good fortune, so she carry a lot of good fortune. Here it is, we can see the degree is 13.57, and 13.33 means at the early age of maybe like age 3, 4, 5, like that, she was showing the promise of her life. What I did was I went by Gemini, the AI, and I wanted to ask questions to understand whether this chart is right or wrong, right? So what I did was, here I was asking as a baby, did she show the promise, whether age 3 to 5, like that, but it doesn't say there's any public record. But at the age 9, she already performing in the local theater productions. So that means, for someone to perform in a theater productions at age 9, they must have at least, had some training before, right? So it has to be early age, at least 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, and then the parents are that confident that, she can perform at this level. She must have been gifted this clearly. So this chart shows that, because of her style of music is philosophical, because that's because of the Jupiter here, and also it could be nurturing too because of the moon here, right? And love and the disappointment in love. That is what her main thing is. It's to do with this. When someone is a singer, actually it's a communicator, right? Because a song can say something that you have to write it in 1,000 words in a small song with, 300 words, so, or 200 words like that. So the song is very powerful in communications. So what happens is most musicians comes with this Mercury and Venus together. Like if you take Celine Dion, she come with Venus and Mercury. In this case, Taylor comes with Mercury. Mercury is the communication planet, right? And then the Saturn. Saturn is her romantic planet, romance related to this particular one, romance. And then what happens is whenever this Mercury is malefic in here, then she will experience some disappointments in romance. That's a karma she brought to this life. And then what happens is, she will get experiences of disappointment in love. So that's how she would write songs like that. That is how this happens here. And then because of this Mercury and Jupiter and Moon combination, this gives us a philosophical type of songs. She would think deeper into whatever circumstances that she's experiencing in life, and then she would do that, right? So that is how it happens. And also this Jupiter aspects the first house, that makes it her, she's somewhat believing in karma, clearly, because the Ketu in the 10th house here also influences her work. So it is Ketu is, it's good for karma, good for spiritual understanding of life. On the other hand, it's not great for any materialistic things. So, and the disappointments are likely, that happens. So that is how Ketu is there. Ketu that is how some disappointment comes. And also, if you look at her father recently, after age 30 for her, that her father had some kind of a heart attack or something. You can clearly see that also seeing here after 30 years of her life. You can see Ketu is 2417 and here 2736 of Sun. Sun represents the father. That shows up clearly. And here the Moon is the mother. Mother was so very clearly is, her early age. Her mother and father both are very familiar with the business and marketing and finance. So she gets a real basis of life, So her mother is the one who helped her quite a bit early age to reach, to develop this musical talent and take her to places. You can see here, this is the 4th house, mother here, and also Venus with Rahu here, she was taking her to Nashville and teaching her, getting opportunities, like taking her recordings to the producers like that. All that happened at early age. That is how this chart so clearly shows her talent. Now, let me go by a little bit of this. So we can clearly see after age 12, she learning to play the guitar and then she signed up with a label, right? Records label. So that's very clear in here. And also after that, I was asking age 3 to 12. Dad's headliner, Dad was helping her quite a bit at the beginning. Financial and business acumen for the dad, because he was working for the financial advisor for Merrill Lynch. Recent health scare, that is what I was talking about, this to that. Recent healthcare is clearly seen here, there, and then does Taylor has any medical issues? Yeah. This, I was asking medical issues because of this Mercury 14.50 and then the Jupiter is 13.57. So she could have some medical issues because of that close affliction also. So that is what I was asking. It's eating disorders, body image issues, and she also had some mental issues to do with Ketu here to Sun there. So that is also seen here, right? So there were some medical issues, and she had some loss of voice sometime because of this Mercury in the house of communications, which that's how it happens like that. I mean, we can time all of these exactly to the right date, but we cannot do this on a small video like this. I'm just trying to validify this particular chart for it. I was asking whether she had any throat issues, but I didn't get the correct answer, but she did have that twice in 2011 with bronchitis, and some other places, like they had some issues on, you can match these to the exact dates if we need. Recent one also, they had troubles in Singapore or something like that. That is one. Like these are vocal issues. Were her communications mistakes ended up romance? I was asking, like, you can see this is the planet for romance. This is the planet of losses, right? So because these planets do different areas of life, and also it provides good as well as bad. So because these two are like this, so she would have this really shows disappointment in love. That is what happens. So that's what I was asking, whether there were romantic relationships, mistakes. Basically, communicate. She's losing, relationships, ending relationship because of the communications issues. Sometimes, other person may misunderstand, what she means. Actually, this talking about examples of certain songs that she writes. So she, that is there in her chart. So she, she had more, I think, some relationships. I think she was married once also, and because of this situation, she would ends the relationships. And that is the very reason why she would write the songs of philosophical nature relating to that, explaining, how the love works. Better side of love would be disappointment. If nothing really ends up in happiness completely in life, so that's what it is. And then I was asking, when did her the new romance with the football player, right? Look at this. This happened pretty much people get to know this in September 2023. If you look at it here, she's running a romantic period here. Saturn is her romance planet. So if we look at even the timing, you could see Saturn is October 1st, 2023. So this started on September 2023. So right now, she is running a romantic period. So that is how she met this Travis, right? So that is how the romance started, because the romantic period started right here. it should be not October 1, it could be a little bit earlier, because maybe some, I'm not totally calculating it correctly, but it could be a little bit earlier because it is in September is when this romance started, right? So I don't know what date it is, but it is close to October. That's what it is. And then the question I was asking, for when is that happen? Actually, that's right. So her romantic period actually runs through October 4th, 2026, right? And after that, period is not that great for her. If she makes any mistakes or like, communication problem, if she can manage that, if this engagement will be successful and it end in the marriage, if we can get it done here, right? But after October 4th, 2026, it will be Mercury period, which is a red, a negative planet of losses. So if, unfortunately, if anything happens over here, she could get in trouble with the relationships again here, So you have to be careful. You need to understand your own karma, and you have to be careful, But life is such that, whatever meant to be is what happens most of the time. Sometimes we have choices in life to do the right thing or do the wrong thing. And we can sometimes do the wrong thing and, we get in trouble. So that's how life works. So this romance going to go till we very well, by October 4th, 2026. So like another year kind of thing, right? As if the marriage happens in here, then it will be great. Then again, she will have a little difficult period here, and this is going to be difficult also. And then she will have a really good period in 2030, and then she will come back with all her might again in 2030. This is how life happens, So these two periods are not going to be very good for her, right? And so this is this relationship that we have. It exactly began when it's supposed to begin, right? Okay, like I was asking about the chart. I don't want to go to the very detail of the chart. It's going to be very, it's going to be a very long video, and I don't think anybody will be interested into. Okay, and then okay, so like people are saying there is a Sagittarius Ascendant. I mean, Sagittarius Ascendant will not fit for her with her life experiences so far. I mean, that is how, whatever reason that they are based on. What I do is, actually I look for if I can see the life events in a chart to the exact point, that is how I do it. It is not, I don't really go by any published time as such, because it's difficult to rely on any kind of public time. Because whatever chart you bring to this life, it should show your life without any question. Because they are saying it's mother who gave the time. I don't know, I've never seen a video or anything like that, but it's hard to do it like that. Okay, I was asking some questions. Okay, I was asking what is her, what is influence of her mother, right, to share the musical career. That clearly says that, Andrea Swift has been the central figure in shaping her musical career, right, and life. Early career support where, she was driving her around, and then, and then all of that stuff there. And then she writes a song about her mother, and her mother had cancer, also battled with cancer, right? That it is hard for us to see, all the circumstances of your family members in your chart, but there is some hidden things in here, like here the Mercury is seeing this moon here, so we can look at that's a possibility there, so that is the one. And then I was asking, considering Jupiter's moon, okay, because of this here, person brings a lot of good karma. On the other hand, these kind of people, come with a lot of good karma, and they have a very strong guardian angel. And when to maintain such level of good karma, these kind of people are led to give, share their earnings. That is, giving is very, very important in life. Anyone who is successful, a person of giving, because the God sees the giving and God help you after that. If you give, you must give it with all your heart and without any attachment to it. So I get these are her. There's a lot of things that she does. She gave $1 million to the disaster relief in Louisiana. And in the Tennessee, right, the donation in Louisiana, and the similar sum for Tennessee, floods, and education and arts. She was contributing a lot of money to over here. Country Music Hall of Fame, how much money here? It is $4 million, And then supporting fans, she supports her fans quite a bit. That's there, because that is very important for you to be successful. And then also, surprising gifts for the fans also. And also supporting her staff, a very recent tour, Hira's tour, that she gave 50 million, I think, to the staff. And then she helps food banks, which these are really, really good karma, and also she supports the gender equality with LGBTQ people, like that rights. Those are the giving. So that is inspired by here, because you are creating new karma. She will again reap those benefits eventually. Then I was asking, does the music work shows philosophical and love breakups, etc.? And it clearly says yes. See that? Because of this Mercury aspecting her good fortune here, right? And also her Lagna Lord in the Rahu Ketu axis here. And also Ketu is in the 10th house. All of that is the love breakups are happening for her. That is her karma that she brought, because we all come with some good karma and some bad karma, but she come with a lot of good karma, and and this is her paying of karma is through breakups and things like that, right? Self-discovery, philosophical themes, all these songs that she writes. Right, so I think that's what this chart explains. Also, if you will look at it, very recent, her engagement is shown in here. Sorry, wrong one. On August 13th, this is what the engagement shows here. With this, Jupiter is aspecting Saturn, which is a very powerful situation here. Or very close to half a degree. So that's what triggers that event. But only thing I can say about this is this romance also did not happen at this engagement did not happen on the peak of the time, peak of the good karma. It happens after it passes 0.5 degrees. So does that mean she's going to have another breakup? I mean, we don't expect, nothing at all, nothing bad at all we should expect her. But if it's your karma, that's how it works. So it is this here. So all we need to, when we know your karma, as I said, be careful in communications and explain this to your partner. These are the karma I brought to my life, so you should not, if I make anything, if I say something that, can hurt you, please excuse me for it, because I may say things without even thinking to break up my own marriage or I mean, in this case, engagement. Because once this is understood by the partners, life is very easy, because then things happens in a certain time, because we can calculate dates easily. We can calculate what things happens to make, certain things like that. It can be done. It is easily done. It takes a lot of time to do it, but it can be done. But important thing is since she understands what karma is, clearly she understands what karma is. She carried a lot of good karma to this life, and then she has some good amount of bad karma also, that creating her relationship issues, right? So that is what it is. I hope there is something to gain here. I don't mean anything bad to her at all. She's a very lucky lady. We wish her all the very best. If you have questions about this chart, feel free to comment. I'll try to answer it. Other than that, I'm not looking for subscribers or things like that. Okay? Thank you so much. Yeah, bye.